Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome along once again to the Vertex Super Lab series. This is currently round 4 out of 6 here in the six event calendar season. And for round 4, we are at the famous Japanese Grand Prix circuit of Suzuka. As usual, we would feature the Vertex Super Labs 3 classes of Clubmen, Modified and Unlimited. The Clubmen being the 550 Sports Medium class, Modified being the 650 Sports Soft class, and Unlimited being a no PPD unregulated Racing Hard Tire class. The event format stays the same as it always has been, 20-minute sessions with only one class on track for each session, each class having 2 sessions totaling up to 6. The order would be Clubmen, Modified, and Unlimited going twice. Of course, our venue for this weekend's Time Attack series would be the Japanese Grand Prix venue of Suzuka Circuit. Probably one of the longer tracks on the calendar in this season. 5.8 kilometers with 18 turns, and the longest straight being the back straight coming out from the spoon curve of turn 14 all the way to the fast left hand 130R at 850 meters. Normally this track is the venue for, aside from the Japanese Grand Prix of Formula 1, a lot of other great Japanese local Japanese races in Super GT and Super Formula and Super Taikyu. But for this weekend, it plays host to us and our grid of specialized Time Attack cars. This week, we have another person here in the booth with us. Let's welcome along HarryMop89 from Clockwork Motorsport as well. Hello, man. How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, very well, very well. I'm glad to have another person in the booth. It's pretty much a refreshing feeling. It's a shame we can't get Stiggs TC in here with us as well. That would have been a great one.
Oh boy. I'm excited to watch these guys wheel these cars around this track.
Yeah. Suzuka's a pretty special place for us here in Clockwork Motorsport, given that we've raced a lot of really good races around here, especially the VR Suzuka 1000s we've done over the years that we've seen some degree of success in. And yeah, it's a pretty good track for, well, just for racing in general, but Time Attack's gonna be a different story. It's gonna look like, because of just how long the whole thing is.
I think the Time Attack, this is gonna really push these guys to figure out what is more important. Is it straight line speed and power, or is it agility and handling? Because sector 1 and 2 is all about handling here, and then you have the long straightaways, which you need the power. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys try to manipulate their cars to get them to be the fastest they can be.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting balance in this circuit. Like even when you look at the real life racing series that do race here at Suzuka, it's never really just one thing. Like, you get cars with more power than the others, but it's a bit slower in the corners, and you got cornering machines that might lack a little bit of grunt in the straights. Like, you see that the most in the Super GT series, where you got the FIA GT3 cars, which are just straight line monsters, going up against the local DAF GT300 cars, which are just cornering machines. Like, there's just sectors where one of those classes is faster than the other, but in Time Attack, you gotta nail that balance. We're looking here as we're looking to start the first session of Clubmen. I think everyone here is ready. We only have 4 cars here in the grid. A bit few compared to the previous races, but still pretty talented field here nonetheless. Fire this up. We see Tim Lore, big NFL and big techs here, are regulars here in this time attack series. And especially Tex, Tim, and NFL have been using these same cars for the Clubman class all season. With the exception of Tex, who used I think he used the Radical last week at Suzuka. But for Tim and NFL, they've stuck with the Ford Sierra and the Integra Type R pretty much the whole season. Well, Flash, we know Flash. We know Flash. He's a Porsche guy.
He's a Porsche guy. He's going to be his Porsche. True and true.
Yeah. He did say, though, that at the very least for the Unlimited class, the 997 that he brought along for Suzuka, that would have been the last appearance of that car. So it's going to be interesting to see what he brings for Unlimited class later on. But this 996 that he brought out, I think, yeah, this is the same car that won Suzuka, actually.
Yeah, Flash really has a knack for getting everything he can out of a Porsche. I don't know how, but he really can just drive the wheels off a Porsche.
Not to mention, he can build them to be that fast in the first place.
Exactly.
I've played this game just to tune cars a lot, even even before we got all the racing going in GT7. I've just played the game to build cars and stuff, and the Porsches are some of the most tricky cars to build, mostly due to the unique drivetrain that it has. Rear engine, rear wheel drive. In some ways, it's similar to like a midship, but it's just a lot more grip.
Yeah, especially on corner exit, it just feels like you can really get the power down, but you get that understeer feeling in corner entry, which is like, it's so hard to get the balance right on that car. At least when I drive a Porsche.
You kind of want to like tune the car for sharp corner entry, but might as well, like, when you do that, the rear starts to move around a bit more. But you have to trust when you put the power down, that grip will come in and just stop that movement and just go straight out the corner. It's a weird thing. Like, it's unique to the Porsches, really. The way you drive that car, it's different from how you drive like most other midship cars. Like, you know how MRs have just move around mid-corner, but this car just doesn't do that.
Yeah, I just don't get it. It's a different feeling in its own.
Yeah, and knowing Flash, how long he's been driving these cars since the game came out, maybe even back then in GT Sport as well. So the man knows his Porsches and how to drive them, definitely.
I'm surprised to not see Tim in like an S2000 or something like that right now, to be honest with you.
He will be in Modified when we get there. He built one for Modified. I'm surprised he didn't build one for Clubman, to be honest with you. Like, when...
That's what I thought. For sure I would see him in an S2000 or a Civic or something like that.
We know how much the guy loves his Hondas, right? Like, we've been teammates with the guy long enough to know that whenever he has a chance to go for a Honda, he will.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, this actually surprised me when we did round 1 at Road Atlanta. His car choice of a Sierra RS really caught me off guard. Like, okay, I kind of expected him to go for an S2000 in Clubman instead of Modified. But then I did build an S2000 back then. Like, I full tuned an S2000. In this game, you can't put a turbo in an S2000, unfortunately. The only S2000 that has a turbo in this game is the Amuse car. But even then, it's illegal in this series because it's a tuning. So you can't use that, right? So I thought, like, if you're gonna go full naturally aspirated S2000, the best place for you to use it would be Clubman, where the power is not really a big issue.
Yeah, because you don't have that power. I mean, that's the one thing an S2000 lacks is power.
Yeah. It's...
Straight line speed.
It goes back to the point you brought up earlier in the intro. You know, do you want that power or do you want the agility? And if you want the agility, the S2000 is all of it. It's unfortunate we don't have split times here in GT7 just yet. It'll be interesting to see who's fastest in each sector, especially in a track like this.
I would love to see the actual live timing right now.
Yeah.
Just, I'm going to see how this Ford is against that Porsche.
Yeah, how the Ford is against the Porsche, how the S2000 of Big Tex is against them, and even where NFL's Integra comes into play, that front wheel drive.
Missed the apex there. Degner 2, that was a rough one.
Ooh, yeah, I just caught it here with Tex. And another thing that's been a thing this season, it's been something that's going on ever since like late GT Sport, early GT7. But tire temperatures are still a thing. Obviously, we don't have tire wear, we don't have tire wear, fuel wear in a time attack series, but tire temperatures are still a thing. But it's interesting to see if Suzuka puts enough load on these tires where you would feel them overheating. Because I feel like there's enough straight sections for the tires to cool down in between. Like you see the S's in sector 1 go all the way up until then it ends at Dunlop, which is still a loaded corner because it's a long left going into the Degners. But then after the hairpin, it's just a long.
You're pretty much just, it's a long sweeper. Then you have Spoon, which is another long sweeping right or left. So you really can cool off those tires during that time. So it is interesting. I don't think you're going to see it as much in this class as you will in the modified and unlimited class.
It's just because of the speeds they're going through, yeah.
The speeds they're going through and the tire that they're actually using.
Yeah, because that's something I brought up as well when we saw people either going back to the pits to change tires or either warping in or actually coming into the pits at the end of their laps to change tires. That's the most we've seen. I think the most we've seen of it was Watkins Glen.
Just strangely enough, because that's another track it is very corner heavy, but you have some long straightaways there that you can get those tires cooled back down.
Yeah. I think the one who did it most back then was Flash, especially in the modified and unlimited class. Flash pulled down the tires on his Subaru WRX and modified during that weekend, and he was just he looked like he was going for like 2 attack laps, then 1 cool down lap, and just repeat that cycle really. Right now he's holding an early lead here, 218.742. Almost a second and a half clear of Tim's Ford.
Tim had a rough first lap. I was just happened to be on watching him, and I saw him go wide out of 130R.
Yeah, I think
went wide,
as well.
And it cost him quite a bit. His next lap was pretty decent, but I think there's a lot of time there. And as we know with Tim, he just keeps making laps and he can find time in the car.
Yeah. Remember, this is just the first session of the whole event. There's like 6. It's 1 out of 6. And mostly, it's probably because everyone this is their first laps around here, so it's a warm-up pretty much for the first half of the session. And these laps go by quick, because you don't have a lot. We only have 20-minute sessions, and these laps take a long time to complete.
I'll tell you what, Flash was down 2/10 going into the last sector and gained 2/10 in that last sector.
That's when
that car is quick on the straightaways.
Either that, or he really just attacked the final chicane. You surprisingly gain a whole load of time just by getting the chicane right. Like, a lot of people seem to think that because the final the timing line is right before 130R, right? On that second bridge out of Spoon before 130R. That's where the timing line is. It's because it's just 4 corners technically, 130R, the chicane, and the final. Because it's so short, people think it's like, oh, if you carry enough speed coming out of Spoon, that's how you gain a lot of time for final sector. But no, it's really how you attack the chicane that matters there.
It is, and not messing up 130R.
Yeah.
Because you can just as easy go wide out of there, get dirty tires, mess up the chicane and the final corner.
Yeah,
the whole lap's ruined.
Normally you wouldn't get dirty tires just like going wide at a 130R, but because GT's well, the way GT does dirty tires, it really compromises you all the way until the next lap. You see Flash here, still purple.
Whoa. 7/10 purple, almost 8/10 purple. God.
That Porsche is wicked quick. Does he get it? He nails it, but I think he was a bit tentative there. I saw him go on and off the brakes there.
Yeah, it was
he still
didn't seem fully committed to it yet.
Yeah, he gained time there, but he's still trying to find the actual braking point. He's still testing the limits here, I feel like. But that car still can get faster, but it's a 217.6. Already 2 seconds clear of Tim's Ford. I think for the clubman class at the very least, you'd want the car with on the power side, really. More on the power side.
I would. If it was me building the car right now, I would want a car with some straight line, because you can set the car up to turn better.
Yeah. And the tires don't give you too much anyway, I feel like.
Exactly. But you can gain back any time that you lose on the straightaway.
Yeah. But considering what the PP limit is for Clubman being 550, even in a car with a lot of aero, you probably can't turn the aero up too much, because that just brings you a lot closer to 550 that you actually would want to without even... Exactly. That's before you even put the power parts on. Like what I discovered when I started planning out for this series, and, you know, trying to build cars to see what you can do with it. It's a pretty good balance. On Clubman and Modified, you're playing with a balance, really. Do you want aero to help you corner, but at the cost of not having enough power? Or do you go full power and just hope the car, you know, lean on the mechanical grip of the car instead of having aero on it? And just from the potential alone of the car, I think the Porsche has a good balance between both.
Max is on a good lap right now. Actually, I just switched over to him, and he's 1 second up from his personal best right now.
Yeah, that S2000 definitely has a lot more potential than the 223.
Yeah, just watching that. He's got some straight line in him too, actually. 220.9.
220.9.
That's a good
That's
lap.
about where I think the S2000 would be. You probably get a lot more closer to Tim if you can clean that lap up. I saw him not really. I think the entrance to the chicane was a bit shaky, to be honest, when I was looking at it.
The exit of Spoon was a little bit shaky, and the entrance to the chicane. But I only watched the last half of the lap, so I didn't know the first half through the S's or anything. So
if you can clean the lines up a bit more, that 1.4 might be a minus. Might be a minus just because how good the S2000 would be around here. Look, he's already half a second up on the S's, just in a good line.
yeah. It's a good line in Degner 1. I would like to see him attack that curb a little bit more in Degner 1.
I love the way he just throws the car into Degner 2, but yeah, I think that entrance to Degner 1 cost him some time, as you pointed out. If he had attacked it a little bit more, he would have kept it there.
Leave a flash on a cooldown map, get his tires back in the temps.
Yeah, he's going for another attack. We have only 4 minutes left in this session. These guys haven't even made 10 laps. Compared that to last week at Tsukuba. These guys would be on lap 15 at this point.
Yeah, I think Tim's going to be struggling for top end.
Oh, speaking of which, he's not going to be struggling he's going to be struggling for temperature at this point as well. Those tires are going to be cooked.
Really just cooked those tires. He could go out, just run slow lap, try to get those temperatures back down, and then go for another fast lap. But
if that was me, I would warp to the pits, do an out lap to get the tires up to temperature, because when you get out of the pits, it's potentially the colder side. One lap around, look, it's 5.8 kilometers. One full lap would get the tires up to temperature, and just do on the top. But he's really going on the limit there, trying to get on the throttle as early as he can with the tires. He's finding the limits of the tires a lot more than he wants to. But he's cruising right now. He's on auto drive.
NFL driving a front-wheel drive, that's talent. I struggle so bad with the front-wheel drive cars. I gotta give him props, because I would be struggling right now, really hard, with a whole lot of understeer.
And the biggest advantage you get running front-wheel drive cars really is the traction that you get from the tires, because these sports mediums are really grippy, actually. It's not until you try to attack high-speed corners, trying to carry so much speed into high-speed corners, that you actually find it at that time. But on these front-wheel drive cars, as long as you can get the suspension turned right so it doesn't understeer everywhere, you actually golden. And NFL's not been too far back in the Integra, actually. He's made the Integra work.
I'll tell you what, there's something about an Integra at Suzuka. It just fits. It just fits.
It does. And not just because Suzuka's owned by Honda, no.
No. But we're coming up on the last minute, so these guys are going to be starting their last laps here.
We're coming up in the last minute, and I think Tim and NFL just started their last laps. Flash and Tex are coming up to the start of theirs. So just based on where everyone is on track, it's going to be NFL who's going to be taking the checkered flag first in this session. Look at Flash's lap, last lap, 2:17.7. He went for it. Oh, and goes wide out of 1.
Oh, and he went wide. That
But he does have a comfortable 1.8 gap to Tim, though.
he
So,
does. He does.
but Tim's going faster on his. So, I think what Tim
I
could do is
just
at
missed
least
the
aim for.
sector 1 split.
He was 170 up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was really tidy through Degner 1 there. And tidy through Degner 2 as well.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's doing. 5.9. He's still up. There's still time to gain.
Yeah.
I'd be worried about that S2000 behind him. Because we know that has some pace in it.
I would be too. Good line to Degner 1, but a bit shaky on exit. You want to eat up the curbs to Degner 1 as much as you can. Well, as much as the car allows you.
And he's 2/10 up, so he very well could close that gap.
Yeah. I think the goal for Tim coming into the second session Clubman later on would just get into the 18s.
Yeah.
But then, considering that the afternoon session improvements have been very few, not sure if there's time to be found there. But then again, you get more track time as you go through these sessions, so anything can happen.
And he can make a setup change in between sessions. And he might, figure something out with the suspension and dampeners. And
That's true.
get that car to drive a little bit better for him.
That's true. If that car's power limited right now, because of aero, he might want to consider trimming that aero off so he can get some power back.
There's text in there. She can see this. Just overcooked it there going into it.
Yeah, a little wide coming into the second half of this game.
That was a great session by all these drivers.
Definitely was. We're running down, as we run down the results for session with the club, but it's going to be Flash again, looking for a third straight Clubman victory here. He's looking strong for that. In the Porsche 911 VT3, the 996 on 217.651. Similar holding on to a strong second here with in the Ford Sierra with a 219.4, but not far behind is Tex in the S3000 with 20.9. NFL in the Honda Integra Type car with a 223, but NFL has been consistently a Session 2 improver here in this series, so we might see that 223 come down somewhere like 222, maybe a 221. So yeah, I think it's not over.
Oh,
really.
No.
But Flash does look like he's holding a strong advantage going in to the next session of Clubman. Now it's up to Tim and Tex to see what changes they can make with their cars, really. Try and close that gap. And let's get this thing set up for the first session of Modified. It will be interesting. We'll see what people bring out.
Yes, it will. I am so curious as to what people bring out here.
Going by history,
I mean, I think Tim's gonna bring out that S2000.
he has to.
For sure.
He has to. What I'm not sure is if Flash still has the 997. I think he's retired the 997. I think he said he's retired both the 9.
He said he was gonna do.
He says he's retired the 997 and the 991. It'll be interesting to see what he brings out for Modified and another. For Modified, I know NFL has a C8.
I've seen that in the past streams.
Tex unfortunately does not have an entry for modified, so it's just gonna be between these three. Yep, bet NFL does bring out the C8 Corvette. There it is, Tim's S2000, finally making an appearance. And
Flash with the
Flash with the
Cayman
Cayman
GT.
GT4. Still a Porsche.
That I was not expecting a Cayman, no.
Still a
I was
Porsche, though.
expecting, yeah, I was expecting something a little different, to be honest.
I was expecting the WRX, if I'm honest with you. I was expecting the WRX from Watkins Glen to make a return.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
But he did mention the something about the Cayman, though. I guess this is this was what he was talking. He was talking about back then.
And what's the limit for this class? 650?
650.
And Sport Soft.
Yep, 650 Sport Soft tires.
This will be interesting to see.
Now see, Tim's S2000 is probably close, if not fully tuned, with barely any power limits.
I imagine NFL's C8 has probably some power limitations, but actually probably not, because the Sports Soft will really bring down PP on that Corvette.
Actually, if the car starts out in sports arts, then yeah, Sports Soft actually brings it up.
Okay.
But I don't
Now
think
there's already a little bit of
it's either that Corvette barely has any weight savings on it, so it can keep all that power on.
already see a little bit of cat and mouse going on between Flash and Tim on their outlaps. Going through the S's.
This S2000 near full tune, going through here to Suzuka is probably going to be a good one.
Oh yeah.
I feel like out of all the circuits we've been to this season, Tsukuba and here Suzuka is probably where the S2000's best suited for.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, especially Tsukuba. I'd feel the S2000, you can throw a bunch of aero on it, and it's just gonna be so good there. You don't need speed. You don't need speed there. Let's be real.
You want speed to carry into the corners, but not necessarily on the straights. You barely have anything usable on.
Exactly.
We've seen last week, especially in the unlimited class, the guys come out of the second hairpin full throttle, right? They're full throttle for about 3 seconds before they have to brake for the final corner. Because this is how fast they get to it. If I remember right, the whole straight was rated at 450 meters. Just 450. Coming out of the second hairpin, going all the way to the final corner, it's just 450. You hit 220, you're on the brakes.
That's practically the run from 130R to K.
Yeah. It feels like it, yeah. Look at how much tidier the lines are here. Obviously, with better tires for the modified class, these guys are gonna get a lot more. They're gonna find they have a lot more grip available to them, especially with the power they have. Ooh, Tim drifting it all the way to Dunlop. Ooh!
Just saw Tim in the wall.
Yep. And back to the pits he goes. I think making a setup change here. I'm guessing either suspension change or aero change. You might have taken out some rear aero on that car, and now he's putting him back on. I'm guessing.
If I had to guess, it's probably the suit as well. Just because he probably figured I need the top end. And then he come out of Dunlop full throttle and it just, the rear end did not agree with the amount of engineering input that you need to put in. I guess these lap times are going to be probably about 5 to 10 seconds faster.
You're probably not going to be far off the mark.
Just judging by where they're at, the pace, I'd say probably 210.
Maybe even less.
Well, it's definitely going to be less.
Yeah, 208. Was very clean either. I think he's got probably another second in there. Definitely. He's got more time on it. Cause I remember my Supra when I built my Supra for. I tried making my Supra for 650, right? I was running 207s in that. And these cars are definitely faster than that Mark IV Supra.
You can already tell he's on it because he's already 4.5 tenths purple first sector. So
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess low 7, a high 7. And these guys are driving these cars on racing transmission. I had my Supra tuned for the H pattern. This is where I'd expect, like, they're not far off from where I expect the lap times to be, especially with flashes. It's not far. Second up to low 208s looking here. Can attack the chicane, that'll be a 208, really low 8.
I don't know what kind of transmission he's running. He was only in 4th gear going in the chicane.
284.
Straight line, almost 160 miles an hour going into the first corner.
I don't think even the Cayman has as much straight line speed as this thing. Look at the short gears in this car. He's at the top of 8.
He's topped out 8th going up to 130R.
That gearbox is near optimized for this. He's at the top of 8th going into 130R. Almost 260 kilometers an hour there. Tim got a good run out of 130R here. This is his first flyer.
Nice and tight chicane.
Yeah, but it's gonna be way off here.
Oh yeah.
213.1.
Something wasn't there.
Feel there's more time to find here in the S2000.
He is down on straight line speed compared to the Porsche. I will say that. He's about 10 miles an hour slower, which is what, 20 plus kilometers an hour slower, just from a straight line. He should be really eating these cars up right through here.
Oh, look. Look, he's 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, he must have had a bad sector off. He must have had a bad turn 1 or something. 2 seconds up.
Just from sector 1? Just from sector 1, he's in the 210s. Yeah, he's looking in the 210s right now. Just in these splits.
One thing about Tim, he can get faster the more laps he runs. It's just... You'll go out and put down a quick lap, and then you'll think, oh, he'll run some 4 or 5 slow laps, and then he puts down a bank lap, and it's like 2 tenths purple the whole way through. It's like, how? Where did you get that from?
The thing with Tim in this series so far this season, he's gonna be running these laps like he's running a race stint. He's gonna be putting down consistent laps from here on. He's not going for one attack lap. He's going for... He's trying to find pace as he goes through the laps.
It's like he's chasing somebody, trying to catch a win. He's not... That's a really good lap.
209! Wow!
He picked up that's almost 4 seconds that he picked up right there.
Well, whatever setup change he did, he looks like he's comfy with it.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Some flash gets in the chicane.
Flash is purple.
Oh, yep. 4/10 purple. That's a low. Wow. Oh, wait.
The balance of performance on that course, really, on straights and on corners, is just really good.
She's down here going. She does best. They win races.
Oh, goes wide out of Dunlop. That's wide.
It was a little bit sloppy there coming out of Spoon, just a little bit. He got on the power and his rear tires did not like it.
That's another thing with the S2000 though. It's a bit rear limited. You kind of have to drive it on the ragged edge. NFL 211. The man can get into the 210s. It's funny about talking about aero on the S2000. Just this week, I remember finding a video a crazy S2000 here in Japan with all like super crazy aero, like time attack aero. And I showed it to Tim like, you might need this. Like it was just the front end was just full dive plane. The front splitter? No, it's not a front splitter anymore. It's a Formula One wing. Nob Taniguchi took it out for a drive. The first thing he said, "Shit, I don't know how long, I don't know how wide the car is because I can't see it."
I can only imagine it's probably about a foot out of the front of the car.
Like he sat in the car. The first thing he said, "I can't tell. Where's the front end?" What is my, like, how wide is my front? How long is my front? Because there's just overhang on the edge of the front wheel arch. The front wheel arch is non-existent. It's just one huge overhang. It's a huge dive plane. So that's the only thing he sees up front, right? But under that, there's still the front splitter, the super elongated front splitter that he can't see. So, yeah, where does it end?
5 minutes to come back to this session. About 5.5 minutes. Oh, Tim got a big bobble there coming out of the last corner.
Yeah, this guy's
big
pushing.
Bobble. I think that cost him a good lap too.
This man's pushing. He is going for everything right now.
God, he is. He's driving on the ragged edge. Like you said, you have to drive that car.
It's that kind of car, the S2000, really. You don't get anything out of it unless you do that.
Flash, this would be a 207. Oh God, 207. The man just keeps getting faster and faster.
That Porsche Cayman is fast.
NFL went in and made a transmission change or something like that. He was just about top out. He was just about topped out. Like we saw going to 130R.
See a rear splitter on that Corvette, so that car definitely has some rear downforce.
I would say it has some, but not as much as
Yeah, as much as the Cayman.
has.
Or even the
Or the
Cayman.
Cayman. Laps at this. Another big bottle. Big slide out of the last one.
And Flash is still going faster. He's 4/10 up right now.
Him seems to be kind of overdriving turn one a little bit when I was watching. He doesn't seem to make that second apex. It's like a lane and a half up the track a little bit.
He's probably trying to carry as much speed as he can on the exit.
That's a low mid-4 right there. So, or mid-7.
Yeah, he's close. He's close. He's close to that 7-0.
Yeah, I think if Tim could just tidy up turn one a little bit, I think he'd be right there. There is one characteristic about Suzuka. It's all the corners add up. Like, you miss one apex, it's 4, 5, 10s. Just in that sector.
And the SS? Definitely.
Yeah. It just throws the whole rhythm off for the rest of the lap. Which I find quite fun running on this track.
But the momentum never gets cut off really around here. Which makes sense considering that this place was originally made to just be a test track for Honda.
Starting his final lap.
Tim just started his final lap. Tim just started his final lap.
See how he takes this. He still seems a little bit wide there in turn.
And that second gear is not cooperating with him in the exit.
No.
Look at the way he just throws the car into the S's.
Oh, I know. He's just throwing it.
That direction change was so sharp. You could tell the rear was still going in the other way and just forced the front in.
NFL and Flash also started their last laps here. I want to kind of curious to see what Tim does.
Yeah, we're staying on board here with Tim.
The first sector split, he's 7 tenths up for sector 1, so NFL's working on a lap right now. Sector split. NFL's 8 tenths up. His peak.
Which is 1.4, just 1.4 behind Tim.
Flash is 3 tenths purple just about. Through sector 2.
Tim's still improving on, he's still up on his best, his personal best, but just barely.
All these guys are giving it their all right now.
Tim is coming across the line here. Oh, oh my god, he found 2 tenths in the final sector.
Just missed the sector split. Flash is still a 10th purple. NFL might be able to overtake Tim here. Might be able to. No, it's gonna be close. Oh,
210.2.
That was a valiant effort there, NFL, to try to get that in second place from Tim.
And Flash ends with a 7.2. Look at that. Well, that was a really good modified session. But, well, there's only 3 cars really, so there's not much to run down. But when we look at it, it's Flash 05 again with the modified class lead in the Cayman GT4 with a 207.249. And then there's Tim in the Honda S2000 with the 209.6. Not far behind now is NFL in the C8 Corvette, 210.6. Only 6 tenths really separating these two. So it'll be interesting if NFL found that time really late into the session. So we'll see if he can find more time to maybe even overtake Tim once we hit session 2.
It's going to be interesting to see if what adjustments Tim makes for the next session, because I want to see what he can do. I think that S2000 has pace, but I really think that class is probably your most competitive class.
It very well might be. Actually, judging by the previous rounds, that might be true.
Now, see what everyone's brought for the unlimited class. Oh boy.
There we go. Anything goes as long as you're on racing hards.
Only. And there is no PP limit for this one?
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm in for a treat.
Historically, Tim has a V8 S14, which he still brings out. Tex has
awesome.
Tex has a C7 ZR1. NFL has brought different cars to Unlimited, so is Flash. So it's gonna be interesting what these two bring out for this race, for this round here at Suzuka.
Oh, NFL with the ZR1.
Oh, he's in a C4 ZR1. Tex brings out a GT. Oh wow!
That was something I was not expecting to see.
Okay, seeing an R35 makes me think of one thing. Why the hell did it take so long for someone to pick up an R35?
That's what I was wondering. Like,
if we look at it,
it's going to be an absolute straight line monster.
If we look at what we've seen in Unlimited, we've seen. I thought after Road Atlanta, the season opened at Road Atlanta, I thought we were gonna see more 4-wheel drives. Because it was dominated by Cross and Philo, and they were both in R34s.
And the R34 is just such a good car because you can. I mean, what? 1,000 horsepower, if not more?
Oh, okay. Why did it take so long for someone to pick up the R35? The answer is there's gonna be 2 of them. Oh boy.
I'm really surprised that we don't have an R34 here.
Oh boy. Keep the speed gun out.
I can only imagine what traps are gonna be like.
Oh my god. Oh, and look at the idle in this thing. Anti-lag is turned up to max. Idling at 4,000 RPM? Nah, man. Anti-lag is set to high here, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only explanation. I'm surprised Tim's...
The only part those cars are gonna stink at is turn.
Oh, we all know that, yeah.
R35's the turn is gonna be a pain in the butt.
And I'm surprised Tim is still sticking to his guns here with the V8 S14. You know what that thing is? It's basically a drift car.
He's not even full throttle.
You should have seen him at Watkins Glen. No, not Watkins Glen. You should have seen him at Road Atlanta. You're Sector 1, right? The S is at Sector 1?
Yeah.
That man was not even half throttle. It's actually one of the reasons why I told him, dude, just turn up TC. Just turn up to TC3 and, you know, control the throttle that way. Just look at how fast. Look, we have Tex now going. We have Tex going into 130R. How much speed is gonna get? He's gonna get. Oh my god, 313 kilometers an hour.
He hit 200 miles an hour and then had to brake to 130 to make the corner.
Oh, look at NFL. NFL in the C4 Corvette. He's going faster. He's going faster.
212.
We have Flash coming out of Spoon right now. Let's see what this R35 has. Oh, it looks like the C4 Corvette has the most straight line speed out of everyone here. Ladies and gentlemen, for reference, a GT500 Super GT race car enters 130R flat out at 270 kilometers an hour. These guys are going 30, 40, 50 kilometers an hour faster. Of course they brake.
The thing is they don't have the amount of aero that the GT500 cars have.
Of course these guys have to brake with what limited aero they have. But the fact is, they're going to the timing split already 20 kilometers an hour faster than a GT500. Can you imagine how fast that thing feels? And normally for GT3 cars, the average lap time for a GT3 car around Suzuka circuit is 2 minutes flat. Even in real life GT300, the fastest they've ever gone was 158.
Yeah, I think these cars will probably be 155 if I had to guess. If not faster. Oh, and Flash with the nice drift around there.
Tex coming through 130R right now, going into the chicane. It might not be 155, but I think it's definitely under 2. Okay, so 158.991. The first lap put down by Tex in the GTR vehicle. And Tim with a 159. So they're both going faster than GT3s. NFL already in the 2-minute range going through the chicane, so he must have had a mistake somewhere.
He did. He had a mistake right before here.
That T4 looks great.
It really does.
Like, even if you're not a fan of Itasha's, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, that Soletta Mercury car looks pretty good. Even if you take that away, yeah, take that Soletta paint away. That car looks really great.
The fact that Tim has to modulate the throttle as much as he does, and he's only 7/10 off of Tex, is pretty remarkable.
I kind of want to tell him, like, just give up with the drift car, man. Get an actual time attack. You'd be winning if you had a time attack car on, but you're kneecapping yourself driving a drift car.
It really is. Hey, he must be having a blast driving that car, though.
I don't know if I'm going to be happy if I'm going 10% throttle through it the whole lot. But that's me.
This thing on the straightaway, I think it has the C6 speed or the C4 speed.
Does it?
It might.
Okay. Well, I know for a fact that it's a Z. I know for a fact that the V8 engine on that S14 is the same as the ZR1, as a C7 ZR1.
That is close. Less than a 10.
Oh my god, look at these guys. Yep. But then again, NFL in the C4 and Flash in the R35 still haven't set representative lap times. They did go back to the pits to make some setup changes. Hopefully those changes work, because they're not gonna have a lot of time to do those changes.
Corvette just looks so good. I know he'd be out there in a GTR right about now.
Oh, he'd definitely be in an R34. Because in the full tune specs, just on paper, okay? Just on paper, the R34 with the prototype engine is actually lighter than the R35 in full tune.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's lighter. Like, it has less power, just slightly less power than the R35, but it's a lot lighter.
That R35 is a big. It's really heavy.
Oh, Tim with the 58.
I'm still curious to see.
58 with barely any full throttle.
And Flash was purple before Tim put that lap down, so I'm curious to see if...
Just how... Well, he's still going to be purple, I feel like, but just how much is the question.
Exactly.
Up into 130R here. 3 seconds, purple.
Setup that works on the GTR, that is for sure. $53.7.
Oh,
that
my
is
God.
amazing. That is an amazing lap time. That's what, 5-6 seconds off a GT 500 lap time?
GT500 normally lap this place at 148.
I was thinking 48, but I couldn't remember. He's still, even in third gear, the man can't run full throttle in that car. He is just, it's got so much speed. 215 going into 130R.
Well, we're in the booth. We're in the booth. We might as well look at what a GT500 pole lap is.
That's true. I believe pole is probably like a 145, if I had to guess.
You might be thinking of our GT500s, which are powered up than the usual.
Suzuka. That's true. No. 145.1.
Is it? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah. In the previous round at Suzuka, where I was able to attend live, the pole was a 146.3.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, the 45 was last year. This year, just last month, the number 16 ART NSX had a 146.3. But technically, compared to these time attacks, the only cars that go faster around Suzuka Our GT500s, super formulas in Formula One.
Yep. I was just looking at that. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah. The Super GT GT300 car ran race. Is it race lap? Official lap record is a 1:59.2. So these cars are 6 seconds faster than a GT300 car.
Oh yeah, we've stopped looking at GT3s a long time ago. They're not even the rearview mirror anymore. They're quick.
Yeah. This is in
Oh, Flash!
probably. I'm just amazed. These cars just take so much patience to drive with the amount of power that they have. One little lapse of concentration and you're off the track.
Time Attack's a different beast, man.
I know.
Like these aren't race cars built to put down lap after lap after lap with barely any variation in lap time. These cars were meant to do one thing and one thing only: put a fast lap down. You only need one. And I think that's what Flash has already got, that one lap. Because ever since he did that 53.7, his following laps have been a 56.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about tire temps and everything like that. I also feel that has something to do with it, even though it is time attack. And
Yeah, I think that definitely has
is
something to do with it.
is technically turned off, but the tire temps still do play a role in this. So
It might have already come into play.
This is the class where I believe tire temps would kill you.
So you really need to nail that one lap when you go. You have to know that this is that lap, or else your tires are just gonna be out of operating range. Really, they're gonna be past their best wheel. Not because they're worn out, but because it's overheated.
Yeah, it's not the wear that you're worried about. It's just straight overheat because they're gonna get super hot, and the way GT7 models the tires, once they get hot, they lose grip.
As they should, really. They should.
Oh yeah, as they should. But it's just hard to get those temps back down.
It's another 56 here from Flash. We're really seeing it. And even Tim's struggling for consistency right now. Well, I'm not gonna be surprised given how he's had to drive that S14.
I mean, half throttle for Dunlop is not ideal. That was close. But even Tex is pretty much wheeling that
His own GTR.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Like you could say, oh, it's four-wheel drive, it's easy to drive. No. When you have that much power, it doesn't matter if it's just going to the front wheels, rear wheels, or all four. You're gonna have to wheel that thing.
Yeah, because I mean, you pick up the throttle and with the four-wheel drive, it's gonna want to understeer, depending on how you have it set up.
Yeah, torque distribution. If you have it towards one way, like you're gonna get understeer, you're gonna get oversteer.
And you don't want to have it too much to the rear because you don't want to burn up the rears. I mean, that car's probably pushing 1,100 horsepower, if not more.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. So
Yeah, I would assume the same.
Tim misses breaking point here. Coming up with 3.5 minutes left to go here in the session.
2 laps left for these guys, pretty much.
Yep, pretty much. I kind of just want to see Tim just lean on that traction control a little bit more. In a way. Like, yeah, it's going to cut out the power, but just give her the beans. Nice texture.
Kind of missed the apex there out of Degner too. I think he probably took a bit too much speed.
That's what it looked like. It looked like he was trying to get the brakes a little bit later, but trying to push for those extra tenths. And with these cars,
I can't really do that.
yeah.
I'm starting to wonder, what if I pick Fuji instead of Suzuka for this round? Just see how much straight line speed these cars would be taking into turn 1.
I think we haven't seen speeds of like 220, 225.
NFL just wrecked out of 130R and takes the 150-meter barrier off. So
X almost overtook Tim.
7-9.
Tex can get him if he can clean up. If he cleans up Degner too, he can get him. So all start their last lap right now.
Oh, Tim goes wide out of 1. Dips, I think dips the left rear tire, the left front tire, sorry. Onto the green stuff out of 1. That definitely compromised it.
That is a good lap. Let's see what he does in Degner 2 here.
Brakes early, gets nice and early in the apex there. That's a much cleaner one.
Great.
He is 1.1 now, almost 1.2 now. Oh, goes deep into the hairpin.
No!
Commentator's curse on that one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Full on commentator's curse. I never thought I'd get to experience it myself, but I am. We are very sorry. But then again, hopefully he might still be up. Remember, he just went wide going into the hairpin. He didn't go wide on the entry. Oh, he didn't go wide in the middle of the hairpin. Oh, he's already 5 tenths down. And goes wide out of 130R as well.
And he went wide in 130R. That is going to be compromised with dirty tires and everything.
However, it's still just the first session. He has another 20 minutes later on to make up for that one. So he knows he has the pace here.
Oh yeah.
He just has to put the lap together.
NFL is on a PB right now too.
And Flash just goes fast.
Has to just seal it just a little bit, and there comes Tim spinning into the chicane.
Gets reset.
I was just, I was just on board with NFL as he goes almost a second and a half faster. That was a good end to this session with NFL. I just so happened to catch Tim come spinning into the chicane.
Well, that was another interesting session to watch. But for the third straight session today, looks like Flash is once again, just like in Watkins Glen, looking strong for a clean sweep. Now in the unlimited class, Nissan GTR Nismo with a 153.155. And on another zip code is Tim Lore in the V8 powered S14 with a 158.223.
Never say.
Tim might be in another zip code from Flash, but Tex is right next door to Tim in the other GTR Nismo with a 158.402. Not even 2/10 between these two right now. And NFL in the C4 Corvette, not far behind these two with a 159.2. I think the one at the most risk here is Tim. Coming into the second session later on.
NFL got some confidence under himself now. He's gonna. I really think he's gonna pick up a lot of pace. Same with Tex.
Yeah, we saw Tex's potential lap time there. That's gonna be much faster than what Tim has right now. But he just couldn't put it together there on that final lap. But he has another 20 minutes later on to do that. Same with NFL. NFL just keeps improving as the session goes on. So give him another 20 minutes. Who knows what he can do? Maybe he can even beat that on the GTR. We'll have to wait and see. As we prepare for the full reset, you know, these guys went from these guys are now about to go from barreling into 130R at over 320 kilometers per hour back to the Clubman class cars.
Where they're barely hitting 150.
Barely hitting 150.
I don't even think they were.
They don't even hit
135.
Yeah. They barely hit 260. The Porsche barely hit 260. It's gonna be interesting to see. Like, it's gonna be an adjustment period again. Like, the first Clubman session is gonna be a warm-up session, right? Like, maybe the first 10 minutes are gonna be a warm-up. But when you get to the second session of Clubman, it becomes more of another adjustment period because you go from 1,000 horsepower cars back to what, 300, maximum 400 horsepower cars on sports mediums.
300 horsepower, very limited aero, and sports tires. So it's a huge adjustment. I can only imagine what these guys have to go through for that adjustment.
Okay, it seems everyone's ready. Let's fire it up for the session 2 of Clubman here. But as these guys go in the outlap, let's recall what the standings currently are for Clubman. It's Flash in the lead with a 217.651. Tim in second with a 219.421. Tex in third with a 224.960. NFL in fourth with a 223.992. So those are the times everyone's going to be aiming at to improve on. If improvements in here, because remember, Session 2 is going to be in the afternoon, which means track temps are a bit hotter, which could mean a less grip. Could be a good thing or a bad thing for some cars, but we've seen we've already seen people struggling to find, to get even close to pace in session 2.
I will say, just from running in leagues, that the track temp does mean a lot.
It does.
It could be a difference of 2 seconds a lap almost.
And that's not taking into consideration the wind direction that has moved from east now to southeast. And in a much stronger wind as well. A southeasterly wind would mean that drivers would have headwind going through the main straight. But they would have strong tailwind going into the hairpin, which it could be a bad thing for some of these drivers. Also in the S's as well, they have tailwind going into the S's.
Yeah, so this is going to be completely different for these drivers. They also get a headwind going into 130R, which is going to be different than what they had last session.
Could be a good thing for cars with a bit more aero on them.
Yes. And they have a headwind into 1 and 2 as well, so it's going to be really different.
Yeah, the headwind you get going into the main straight is already going to feel a lot different. Because you're suddenly going to find yourself with a lot less speed going into the corner, so you might be tempted to brake a bit late, which the headwind might help with that, but it really does alter the way you approach these corners.
And it does. You can really feel the wind push the car. Like right now, it's a crosswind through Spoon. They're really going to feel that. They're going to feel the understeer. The car not go where they wanted to go.
Especially in the long left-hander like Spoon, where it's already a long left-hander that's, known to cause understeer in cars, and yet you have this crosswind that's pushing to the right. So it's good. So the normal track, the normal line already puts you going all the way to the outside of Spoon curve, and the wind is there just pushing you more towards it.
Exactly, and the track kind of falls off there, like goes off camber.
It is going off camber.
It's so tricky. It's one of those tricky corners where if you hit it right, it's so rewarding, but you get it wrong and it can end the race real quick.
Yeah, if you hit it right, you're gonna find the car points towards the exit a lot quicker, get on throttle a lot quicker. But when it does feel bad, it does feel bad, especially with Gran Turismo's with the behavior of the cars going over the green runoffs.
Oh.
Around Suzuka.
That green runoff is ice. It's actually probably slicker than ice, I would say.
It's slicker than ice, and for some reason, it's bumpy.
It is. So we have Tim. He's coming up on his first lap. I'm curious to see what he runs. If he improved it all, if he made any adjustments, maybe. Said that.
20.490. It's probably just adjustment period for these drivers though. He's a second off from his session 1 best, which is normal, which is a theme here really for these session 2s.
We kind of figured that though, to be honest. We kind of figured they would be about a second off pace, reacclimate themselves with the cars.
The current class leader is still in the pits. Say that he's on his way out right now. 5 minutes into the session, so he's already missed out on a lap, really. A flying lap. Now we have NFL who's starting his first flying. Tim currently up on his session best right now. Didn't see how much, but we know it is going quicker.
And what is Tim's lap time to beat? A 2:19?
It is a 2:19.4.
Okay, so he really needs to get about a second.
Currently, he's not finding a second. He's only finding 3/10. And goes wide out of 130R. That's not going to help him. 4 off the track means 30 tires. But he has the main straight to help clean that out. So by the time he brakes for turn 1, I think the tires are going to be already cleaned out.
Still went purple though. I'm surprised he got that thing slowed down in time.
Oh, well, then again, these are sports tires, so they don't get affected by dirty tires as much as racing tires do.
Vertex is really struggling. Getting acclimated back to these cars, I can tell. Third one there, that's the second lap in a row now that he's kind of missed his braking point away.
And you normally, with the headwind, normally you think you'd brake a lot earlier than you think you would. So yeah, he's definitely trying to take some speed into the corners here. It's a struggle. It's a combination of factors that make the drivers usually struggle to improve in Section 2.
Flash just sitting on the Flash right now. He's 2/10 purple currently. His first out. Should still put him quite a bit away from his personal best lap time right now.
He is looking at a 2:17.2 as his personal best. Oh, sorry, it's a 2:17.6. Time there at least.
Still scoring turn this lap around. It just seems like that car just really is locking the fronts up. And that's much tidier in text.
Been wide on exit out of 2.
Flash with the 21.3 puts him in second place overall currently.
Intense purple is what I saw here.
Yeah, I'm on board with the text right now. He's 10th up on his PB, but that's not going to be fast enough.
That Porsche just
And Flash did. And the Flash did make a mistake the last lap through Degman 1 line.
A bit careful there for detectors. But he's still half a second up on Tim's lap time, right?
Tim is 2/10 purple, so he is also improving as well. So Tim comes across the line. That should be 19.613.
219.613 puts him 2/10 behind the session 1 best. How about Flash?
Second purple, 1.2 is purple.
Flash with the 318.4.
Still, what, 2 seconds off pace for him? Or a second off pace?
8/10. 8/10 off his session 1 best.
NFL's coming around. I think he's about to set a lap here.
Fine. 223.9. Wait, 223.943. That's an improvement by 500s.
And I think he can get more time out of that car.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely got a lot of time in that Integra. Like, just some lines need to be clean, and he could very well find himself in the 21s even.
See him possibly eking out techs here for a podium for this class. Texas 1.1 up on his PB, so that's very promising to see. Second part of the chicane. Kind of want to hit that curb on the exit of the chicane. Like, you can really eat those curbs up, especially in the street cars, I think. I would imagine so, anyways. Flash with another purple lap. He just went 2/10 faster. Still 6/10 off his personal best for session 1.
Yep. Still in the 18s.
Five minutes left in the session.
Going into sector 2 before the hairpin, Tim is currently a 10th up on his current best. If he can find a couple tenths more, that'll be an improvement over the previous session.
Really, I want to see Tim get the 18s. I think that car has the 18s.
Three tenths up.
What's up? nice and tidy through the chicane.
Ooh. 200s. That's 200s down on his previous best. I think going in first gear in the middle of the chicanes cost him a bit. He could have left it in second and
I do
just
too.
yeah, he could have left it in second and just went full throttle immediately after the second half, after hitting the apex in the second half, and it wouldn't have cost him as much. That time he went, the time he lost going from first to second, I feel cost him there.
I agree with that because he has a turbo in there, and running second gear, it should put the boost in the right spot. And when you shift like that, you lose that boost just for that split second, and that's just enough to you can lose a couple tenths here and there.
Yeah, and he was hanging on the throttle in first as well, so.
I would definitely try the next lap. If it was me in that car, I would try the next lap in second gear. And just pick up the throttle as quick as you can in second. Flash just go faster again?
Nope. His last lap was a 19.5. Him is only hundredths off his previous lap though, so if he can find improvement through the chicane, that'll translate directly to an improvement in the lap time. I was already up 0.04, 400ths up on his current best, which would already put him at an improvement.
I don't think 130R was that quick. He went down to first again. So.
Yeah, but he's a lot faster now going out of the like his speed through the chicane is much faster than it was last lap.
Oh yeah, that's he's dead.
You know how wait,
this man is just super consistent right now.
he is still 200ths off though.
I know, but it's like a 440, a 445.
And Flash calls it in.
This is gonna be Tim's last lap. Texas last lap. NFL's coming to his last lap. Well,
Tim's a 10th up in sector 1. Going through Astemo corner, previously Dunlop corner. That Degner 1's clean, Degner 2, really nice line there. Pick up the throttle pretty early as well. It's looking great.
flip the NFL going to 130R right now, coming to the chicane.
Oh, almost looped it out of the hairpin there. Tim picked up the throttle a bit too early. Rotated the rear.
NFL just, he called it in as well.
Tim.
Oh, I went wide out of spoon. I think that's going to be his lap right there. Because now he's just going to pick up a whole bunch of understeer, and yep.
It did look like he went wide of the hair. Like he had to slow down just to make the apex at the exit. It looks like that really was it.
It's like he picked up a little bit of dirt on the...
Well, you picked up a lot more than dirt in that one.
We got Tex coming down to the final sector here. Let's just see where he's at. He's 1.5 on his PB, so a session. Doesn't look like anyone but NFL picked up pace. Session 1.
Looks like that, and even then, he barely picked up anything. He only picked up like 5,000s. NFL's best lap is a 20. NFL's best lap is a 223.943. Session 1 was a 23.992. 49,000.
Wow, that really wasn't a whole lot of time.
But we did see Tim get really close to improving. Everyone's taking the flag, I feel like.
Yeah.
But Flash being in the pits means the countdown is still going, so I think we're just gonna have to wait it out here.
Yep. And I believe NFL. I'm not sure if NFL took the flag or not.
Oh, there we go. They're... Alright, back in the pits. Well, we looked at the results from Session 2 of Clubman. Only NFL found an improvement, 49 thousandths of a second in improvement over Session 1 best, but given that no one else did improve, it means the order will stay the same and Flash will take his third straight Clubman class victory in the Porsche 911. Amazing work from him. I think this also means... I think this... he closes the gap to Tim in the championship. I think Tim now holds the championship lead by only 2 points. I feel like 2 or maybe even 1 point. We have to see once the point standings are calculated. But yeah, it's a third straight club and class victory for Flash. He missed the first round at Road Atlanta, but he came in at Watkins Glen, at Tsukuba, and now again at Suzuka. Impressive win here for Flash.
Only 5 points separated them in the championship standings going into this round, so it's going to be very close.
Yeah. I think it's 3 points the gap between first and second, so it's going to be 3 points. No, 2 points now. The difference after this. As we set the track up for Session 2 of Modified.
Looking forward to this modified session. Again, I really like this class.
When you look at the standings, the most competitive classes have been Clubman and Unlimited. But the competition, now that the original John T has missed this event, that competition is going to get much closer now in Modified as well. So it's going to be really close here. Last round's winner in Modified at Tsukuba, Pausto Reese, isn't here. So it's a chance for both Tim and Flash to gain points on their championships. There's only 3 cars unmodified for this round. So we're running down. It's Flash currently in the lead in the Cayman GT4 with a 207.249. Tim in the S2000 with a 209.6. And NFL in the C8 Corvette with a 210.263. I think, given that Flash has a strong lead here, he could very well hold on to it. But the battle between second is not yet decided by a long way, because NFL did find a lot of time at the end. If you remember, he did find a lot of time at the end of session 1 of Modified. So it's gonna be up to Tim to find a bit more time on his to keep his time out of reach, pretty much, as we fire up the second session of Modified here.
Tim almost found time to improve on his first session for the Clubman series, so I think he might be able to find time in this S2000 too, and improve on that time as well. First car out on track. Nope.
Goes back in. I think he's gonna make another change.
Yep. Classic Tim style with that nice livery. Very well done. And really sports those colors very well in any car he drives.
Tim, well known to be a fan of the Trust Ready Racing livery. He's continued that trend as well.
Flash has just pulled out the track as well.
Yep. Albeit very slowly right now. We should probably get together and get this man a new unlimited class car. For Tim Lowe. One that he can actually drive full throttle instead of half throttle. I gotta give it to him. He's sticking to his guns here. He has not changed his cars on any of the classes so far this season. He's rolled the Sierra since the start, the S2000 since the start, and the S14 since the start. And that traces all the way back to the preseason of Laguna Seca, not just the actual round 1 of Road Atlanta.
That was a nice and tidy line for 1 and 2 for Tim.
I think he's taking advantage of the headwind he's having through the main straight.
I do too. It does have a little bit of front arrow in the car, so that will really help him through the headwind there in 1 and 2. Tim's cars, he has them very set up, very stiff.
It does look like it.
Like, just watching them go over the curb and then you one there, it doesn't seem like he has very much given that.
Just for the S2000, it really does make sense for him to set the car up like that, because the car works better when it's stiff, really. As opposed to other cars where you might be able to get away with some give. But because the S2000's the S2000 itself, the chassis is just too low. There's barely any clearance, actually, vertical clearance in that car. So movement of the dampers can easily just upset the car's balance. So you want it to be as stiff as you could make it. Like in real life, they compare the car to like an oversized go-kart, which is probably not far from the truth, really.
And what kind of lap times are we expecting out of them for their first session? I forget.
Tim had a 209.6.
Okay. I believe Flash was in the 207, low 207s.
Yes, 207, 249.
So Tim is currently second place. Gotta give Flash credit because he is just on it with these Porsches. He's on it in every car class this week. It's just super tight. No mistakes. So he puts down a 208.9, which is 1.7 seconds slower. First section.
Yeah, one of the great things about Time Attack is you might be competing for the fastest lap time, but most of it really is, especially if you're building a car or if you're using the same car. I think it's really just you racing against the clock, against yourself. Just finding improvements on your lap time.
You are trying to beat the other people, but really all you're doing is you're trying to push yourself to that point. Find that extra 5 meters in the braking zone. Pick the throttle up just an extra split second earlier.
You're just driving quicker, really.
Yeah, I've never been really one for Time Attack, but I'm not really a qualified driver either. But something about it.
And the feeling you have when you nail that one lap is unlike anything, really. But then you nail that lap early in the session, and then you find some more improvement as the session goes on. It just feels so much better.
Oh yeah.
Although the opposite is true. When you're struggling to find time, it just feels bad, really. But these guys are good drivers. So they can look past the fact that they're not finding improvement and just start. You know, they could while they're driving, they can analyze like what's going on with this car. Is it me? Is it the car? Is it the track conditions? Like, you know, you can figure out if it's something you can control or not. Like for the track conditions, you can't really control it. So if that's the reason why you're not getting a lot, then yeah, you just have to do what you can with it.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta deal with it. There's nothing you can change about track conditions. You gotta adapt your driving style to the track conditions, whether it be the wind changes or
Track
say
temps.
weather was a factor, track temps, all that stuff has an input in this. And all these drivers are capable of making those changes on the fly while they're out here putting laps down. It takes a remarkable amount of skill to do that.
Yeah, it really does. Like, you can be fast over one lap, but that kind of skill, like that kind of adaptation, comes with experience, and these guys all have that. They've been racing. They've been doing this for years. They've been racing this game for years. You know, even when GT7 introduced these new variable factors like wind, they're still finding a way. They're still finding ways to figure out what effect that does when it does change, and adapt their driving style to it. It's amazing. Like we see that a lot when we're out here, you know, doing wheel-to-wheel racing. But when you take it, when you're here, just looking at these guys drive, you're just watching them drive instead of, you know, driving them. You know, you watch them drive as you drive normally, but when you're just here, you're not doing anything but watching them. So you get the sense of what they're doing is something really, something different. What you normally would. You normally would see just people who normally just play the game for fun.
And like, when you're actually racing wheel to wheel, you can see that improvement with the next driver right then and there. Whereas time attack, you don't get that right then and there. Like, you get the sector splits and everything like that, but it's not like you're following somebody and you can say, oh wow, he really messed up this corner right here, and I'm gaining 2/10 a lap right there on that sector alone. Like, you get that with the wheel-to-wheel. With the time attack, you don't get that. You only get the sector splits where you can see, oh, I'm a 10th up. What did I do different? Or I'm a 10th down. I really missed that corner. Just that braking zone, I just pushed a little bit too far. And like you said, it's that adaptation that just makes these guys very seasoned and everything. So, he was pushing it. NFL's back up to his pace. I believe he's going to find that pace in Corvette here as we get into the waiting stages of this session.
I know what makes it more. You know what makes it all the better. We've been here for over an hour, and they've driven 3 different cars. You know, not three different cars in the same class. No, 3 different cars in different classes.
And their times aren't that drastically different.
Yeah.
I mean, besides Flash, who's maybe a second off his first session's pace, which you can track that down to time of day. This track temp does make that much of a difference. Like, everyone else is on their game. Flash is on his game.
so 4/10 away from his session 1 best.
Just went back to the
Oh no,
pits.
wait. It's actually no. It's only 2/10. He's only 2/10 off now.
Yeah, he ran a 2:09.6, so
And NFL. Oh yeah, we haven't seen what NFL's personal best has been so far. But he was working on a 2:10.2. Oh, Tim spun out of Dunlop corner.
out of which is really unusual. I mean, I didn't think these cars. Well, I guess with the sports softs, they do have the power to get those tires to spin up like that.
Flash is not down to the 207s, at 207.6. He is 4/10 off his session 1. The overall best, really.
Struggling. I don't know if the tires are just hot or what. He just seems to be struggling.
Less than 5 minutes left of this session, so that probably 2 more laps, maybe 3 if they can get to the line quick.
It might get 3, but no, he's only gonna get 2 because it's really 4 minutes left in the session.
Yeah, so everyone only has 2 more left.
Just this X2000, hearing it scream at 11,000 RPMs is just amazing.
The sound design has just gotten better and better. Although, the only thing I have
It's one of my.
the only thing I have a problem with the when it comes to the increase, like when you put upgrades on that increase the rev limit, right? The sound actually just scales. Like, it doesn't actually go up. It actually doesn't actually change pitch. Like the sound actually just scales towards like a normal S2000 with a racing muffler, let's say. You put a racing muffler on an S2000, just the racing muffler, right? So it redlines at 9,000 RPM. If you take that sound and compare it with an S2000 with a fully built engine and a racing muffler, it sounds the same.
Yeah.
It sounds the same. Like an S2000 with a racing muffler at 11,000 versus 9,000 is the same. It's the only thing. It's the only thing I have a problem with. If they can somehow find a way to increase the pitch, if like once an engine gets upgraded to the point where it's far from the original red line, then I'd be happy with it. But even still, the sound of the S2000 is... that engine sound is amazing. You're hearing pure 9,000 RPM out of a 4-cylinder engine.
It's just, I mean, I I remember driving this car in Gran Turismo 2, and I was in love with it back then.
I remember first picking this car up in the Gran Turismo game was GT3. Oh man. Ever since then I just love this car.
Him had a big bobble there at Vector 2. That's going to be his final lap.
Yeah. I think he got loose out of one. Oh, and he looked at other here,
Sure how NFL's doing. His final lap here.
Going through Degner 2 here. He's down.
That's down. But you know what? That doesn't mean anything because he was down before and then he picked up in his back half here. Where the Corvette, I believe, would be really strong on the straightaways.
If he can tidy up Spoon and then the chicane, I think he's a lot to gain. Oh. I think he lost the rear on braking.
That's what it looked like to me.
Lost the rear in the front, just started to point towards the inside of the corner and had no choice but to stay straight.
It's flashed on this lap. So if I remember correctly, he set his PB on the last lap of the first section. He's currently down 2, so...
Man goes wide.
Boy, the commentator's curse is out in full swing tonight.
Yeah, it happens when we're looking at the same car. like when when Tex went wide out of the hairpin, we were both looking at his car.
I know. That's another class win for Flash.
It is. None of our drivers improved their lap time, so the order stays the same. Flash takes his second modified class victory of the season in the Cayman GT4. This time in the Cayman GT4. His first win was in Watkins Glen with the WRX Group 3 road car. Tim in the S2000 coming in second here. I think this is his first podium in... Yeah, this is his first podium in modified since Watkins Glen, where he finished third. NFL in the Corvette C8 in third here. His first podium of the season here in the modified class. So these three guys are going to gain a lot of points on the rest of the competition just from being here at Suzuka, pretty much. Which is going to make it interesting since John had quite the lead on the field before this round, but with him being absent here, it gives a chance for especially Flash and Tim to close the gap on him, because right now Flash is sitting at 37 and Tim sitting at 36, while John is sitting at 51 points. This would effectively give Flash the lead of the modified standings, and Tim would jump both Fausto and John to take second. But it would make the championship a lot closer now going into the European leg, for the final two rounds at Sardinia and Nürburgring. So the championship's definitely going to be more interesting going into those. Anyway, I think this is what we've been waiting for, both of us. Session 2 of Unlimited.
Oh yeah.
Can Tim hold on to his second place? Or can Tex and NFL find enough time to overtake him? Or can Tim pull off a miracle and actually get close to Flash's R35 GTR? That's what we're gonna find out here.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, especially given how both NFL and Tex were on track to improve their lap times, which both looked like they were good enough to overtake Tim for second. But even Tim, you know, with the way the S14's been handling, I feel like still hasn't gotten even close to the maximum potential of that car. Maybe if he does, like you say, you know, lean on the TC a bit more, maybe turn it up a bit more. Like that car is over 1,000 horsepower.
Oh yeah.
You can afford, you know, the TC cutting the throttle midway to the exit of the corner. But
Exactly.
once you get full grip, it's just full grip through there.
Like I know what it's like to drive a 700 horsepower or 800 horsepower Camaro. And it's a handful. But once you get in that straight line, it's just gone. Almost 900 horsepower Camaro. I just had to go look at it quick. Like, it's a handful in the corners, but once you get on the straight, it's good to go. Like, it'll go. Like, I'm not sure how he has the turbo set up in that, or if it is even turboed.
It isn't. It's an NA. It's the V8 from the C7 Corvette.
So, if I was Tim, I would run up a gear. Like, when he's coming through, I would be in third gear on a second gear corner because it's gonna pull. I mean, it's gonna have that much power and torque that it will pull itself out of that corner. And you won't have to lean on the TCS so much. You won't have so much wheel spin. I would try those things out while trying to drive the car.
Maybe do what we usually do with high-powered cars. Just go use the lower gears for rotation. But once you're gonna get back on the throttle, you pull the higher gears back up.
Yep. Like, that's what I would try to do. Just to try to get something out of that car. Because that car has potential.
Definitely does, because you think about how the S14 chassis is. That thing's very light.
Oh, super light.
Like even compared to like the Vet, the NFL C4, it's a lot lighter than that car. Usually, it's probably the lightest car among the field, really, because we've had Mazda 3s with the four rotors. I'm gonna bet those cars are still heavier than the S14. So
I would be willing to say that that car is easily the lightest car in this field, even over the Vet.
it's definitely lighter than the GTRs. Then again, anything is.
I mean, yeah.
Anything
Like,
is considering.
If I was Tim right now, I would be in third gear, pulling third gear hard, full throttle, up through Duncan, rather than half throttle.
Because you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about the sudden torque uptake from a turbo, right?
Yeah, you don't have that. in the NA.
Because normally if it's a turbo car, I would get if you're gonna hesitate to like pull a gear higher. Because when the turbo initially when the turbo eventually picks up, you don't know when, right? Because even in turbo lag, because even if you have like anti-lag on, even if you have it on high, the turbo boost is still gonna be different from what it is, depending on what RPM you're gonna do, right? So
Oh yeah, you still have the optimal RPM range for the turbo to be maximized in, so you're still gonna have that little bit of lag.
You're gonna get caught out eventually. Like if you pull 2 gears high in a turbo and you're mid-quarter full throttle, once that turbo picks up, you're gonna get caught out. It's suddenly an uptake of power and torque, and the rear suddenly says no. But in an NA, you don't have that. So yeah, I wouldn't stay in first here.
No, I wouldn't even have touched first. Like I would have dropped the first in entry, and then second gear, and probably early shift in the third, just so that way then I can keep the throttle up and not have wheel spin.
Because what's happening here is even like he's not able to utilize the power band as much, even with the traction control on, just because of where he is in the gears. You would want to be able to use some of the power band, even if it's in the lower range coming out of the corners, but because he's keeping the car in gear for the speed that he's in, he's already out of place in the power band. Makes it all the more impressive that he's only this much far back from Flash.
Oh yeah.
Despite this,
as I'm watching Flash just drift the whole final corner.
we can comment about what Tim's doing and what he's not doing, but despite that, he's still in second.
He's still driving the wheels off that car, regardless. I'm kind of impressed. I want to see what kind of lap Vertex does here. Just right now.
Look at those front discs blow up.
I would be mad too, though, if I had to slow down that giant car from 200 miles an hour to 130.
For a left king. For a left kick that you get back on throttle, 2 seconds later you're going to be slowing down to almost a stop, right?
Yeah.
Just looking at the front disc of these cars, like all of them, S14, R35, C4. You can tell they're putting a lot of load at these brakes just because of the speeds they're going. Vertex currently purple in his own lap time right now.
Second up.
Second up.
See where Tim's at. As he comes across.
I think we ran through the results of the first session of Unlimited, but we're looking at the target time is a 53.155 from Flash's R35. Meanwhile, Tim's looking at a 58.223 in the S14. Tex is currently at a 158.4, not even 2/10 far from the S14, and NFL's at a 159.2, not a second off from the S14. So yeah, those 2, 3, and 4 are really in a close fight right now.
I want to see. I really think that they can pick up a second or two just from the first session, just by getting comfortable with the car. Tim went way wide on the last corner. Yeah, I mean, Hex is pretty much basically 58.7.
Just 3/10 down from his session 1 best here with that 58.7.
So I really think Hex can beat his session 1 time.
Maybe even pass, you know, Tim for second.
I really would like to see Tex in 50 seconds. I think he can get down to 57. So
It's going to be an impressive feat as well, because right now Tex is leading the Unlimited Class Championship. Meanwhile, NFL, I'm looking at NFL right now, going through Sector 1. He's a 10th and a half clear of Tex's current fastest lap time right now, which would soon be overridden by Flash, I feel like.
Oh yeah. Flash is almost 3 seconds purple, so which would put him pretty much on par to what he ran. Almost. I mean, he's still 2 seconds off his pace.
54.5. That's a second off.
Yeah. Tex went off right before Spoon.
NFL's not far behind him right now.
This race for second's gonna be tight in this class. I really do.
And Tim's still trying to get on the grips with his car again.
It's just so fast and straight line. See how like NFL kind of goes through that final chicane in second gear and really shifts up to third?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would like to see Tim doing. Just to say that Tim goes faster than NFL in this session. Still down his personal best.
Tim got it wrong there. The Astemo corner.
X is on a good lap right now. I'm not even gonna watch him.
You say that as I scrolled to him, and I just scrolled away from him again.
He was 1.1 up at the exit of Degner's, so I mean.
I'm looking at Flash right now, but I'm tracking Tex by his on the minimap. I'm gonna look at it when he reaches the chicane. Well, NFL goes off on the run up to Spoon, letting Tim pass. Now we have Tex going through the chicane. What's this lap gonna be, I wonder?
Together.
The target.
It's gonna be about a 56.
Oh my god!
56.5. That's a lap for Tex right there.
That puts him in second. 2 seconds clear of Tim's S14. Finally gets the lap done. Oh!
Just see Tim, and all I saw was drifting from Tim, so.
He's finally reaching acceptance that he's built a drift car. Actually, now that I think about it, when we did the preseason test at Laguna Seca, this exact same car had a different livery on it. It had a drift car livery on it. This S14.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I remember that clearly.
Yeah, like, and Tim just lost everything.
Almost
Vertex is gonna have anything to go against Slash.
Almost 8 minutes left in the session.
It's a typical NFL movement. It's just perfect.
A good Natasha.
Yeah, like he could sit here and the guy puts in the time.
There's so many tiny details on that learner. Like, yeah, there's a lot there. Maybe the back end doesn't have a lot on it. The side, there's a lot. Like the front, towards the front doesn't have a lot on it. But the tiny details, if you look at it closely, there's a lot of tiny details that you can spot here that makes you understand just how good of a job this has been. I kind of would understand just because, you know, I've spent a lot of time making attaches myself for Black Motorsport. But yeah, the fact that he's consistently been putting out these types of cars as well, it's amazing. Like even the GTO, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT here at Suzuka had a pretty good attache on it. NFL getting held up by Tim here. That's something I would normally say. That is not something I'd normally say. And Tim goes deep, and so was NFL. There might have been lag contact there.
I was gonna say, I think there was a little bit of lag going on there.
Yeah, there definitely was lag there, seeing as how NFL's been stuttering for most of the season, really. Which has unfortunately been the one thing that's hampered them from doing a lot more racing in GT7. It wasn't this bad. Like it was nowhere. It wasn't this bad in GT Sport. It wasn't even bad in GT Sport.
No, it was.
7 came around and just you know, it just started being this.
And I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about, but I have a feeling it has something to do with the way that 7 is run, kind of. It uses a little bit more resources than Sport did, and I just feel that might be why we're having a whole lot more connectivity issues and whatnot.
Yeah, at first I attributed it to, you know, people being on PS4 versus on PS5, but no. Everyone in this lobby right now is on a PS5. Even I'm hosting from PS5, so that's not supposed to be an issue. Because remember back in the first 6 months of Sport, when the host is a PS4 and you have players that are on PS5, things were great.
Oh, I know, I remember that. It was so bad.
Flash with a 53.6, only half a second now from his overall best. He was working on a 53.1.
These cars are just so fast.
It kind of breaks our perception of what, you know, usually we drive race cars a lot, right? In this game, and even back then in Sport. What do we think about race cars is as the cars go faster, like, as the power goes faster, you know, you get more aero. You know, you go from GT4s barely any power from stock. Oh, as Flash hits the wall, getting loose to the hairpin. And as the power goes up, the aero goes up as well. So the cars are pretty balanced all the way. You go from GT4s with barely any power and barely any aero. Drives like these, right? It's probably the closest we got to these. Only these cars just have so much more power. And GT3s with more power, a bit more aero, but they handle really great.
This is like LMP1 power
On GT4 era.
GT4 era, exactly.
Yeah, so I was about to say, you go from GT1s, the next thing you want, GT500, LMP, a lot of power, a lot of downforce. But this... wow, Tex does the same thing as Flash does, getting loose on entry for the hairpin.
I'm telling you, I was watching Vertex when he swung out there.
You did. I know you were. But we weren't even talking about him, so it's not commentator's curse or anything.
Tell you what, Tim is really struggling this session.
We might, yeah. I know he I don't know how much he enjoys driving this car, but I really want to see him in something a bit more controllable.
Me too.
Or at the very least, maybe we could try working with this car. There's something here that's bothering me for a bit. I feel like he's compensating, you know how much the car wheel spins, right, without traction control, just because of how much power and torque it has. Looking at the speeds he's going through each gear, I think he's compensating with with longer gears.
If that's because he's not even using 6th.
I don't think this car is 6th.
Oh, it doesn't. It might not.
I think even with the racing transmission, this thing only goes up to 5 gears.
So we're coming up on the last lap.
I might be wrong. But if it is a 5-speed, it makes sense.
No, I think you are right. I think it's only a 5-speed.
Get him an S15. Let's get him an S15 and turn 53, 2/10 off from the overall best. No one has improved, by the way, in this session. Well, except for Tex, but bar from Tex, who jumped 2 seconds from his session 1 lap time to effectively take second away from Tim and put it out of reach, basically.
This is the final lap. So.
This is the final lap, but we only have 30 seconds left, 20 seconds left at this point of the session left. Sure. Tex might be able to get one more, maybe.
He'd have to nail this corner.
No, I don't think he can. He still has to go to the chicane.
No, not with 8 seconds left.
Yep, flag is out, checkered flag is out. That's Tex's session over. He does finish the second. Yeah, he does finish in second. An amazing lap there. We knew he had the pace for it, we just didn't expect it to be 2 seconds faster than Tim's.
The vet is up a second. His PB, which I'm not sure what it is. My time is a little bit. I think he reset.
Yeah, he has been resetting, so the timing also is reset. Let's see what this left is. I think it's 59. 58, 58, 9. That's still fourth. It's not enough to pass Tim.
With Tim 58.8, so
At the end. So yeah.
still not enough.
Yeah, for the final results of Unlimited, the only change we saw was Tex gaining 2 seconds off his, well, from his previous best in the first session to effectively take second place and finish there. But yeah, Flash completes another sweep with an Unlimited class victory in the GTR Nismo with a 153.336. Tex with a great comeback to really cement his championship challenge here with the second place in another GTR Nismo, 156.526. Tim holds on to third place in the V8 S14 Sylvia, 158.814. But in the end, oh wait, it's not a 158.814, is it? Oh, his best lap was a 158.223 from session 1, and NFL is in fourth place. It's also an improvement for NFL actually here in this session. He had a 59.212 in session 1 and he improves it by 3/10 here with a 58.954. And this is your final Unlimited class standings for the Suzuka round of Vertex Super Lap Series. Wow. That was amazing. That was a really fun last session for Unlimited.
Yeah, it was.
Like the way the text just improved on this lap. It's a shame we didn't get the whole lap, but you know, given what happened in the first session, I think it's better that we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Tex actually did a hell of a job.
He did.
I gotta say that. Like,
He did.
He just drove that car. Granted, I do think four-wheel drives in this class are just a little bit overpowered in a way.
But they do have it easier, really, when it comes to traction. But it's not. But we've seen two-wheel drive cars, you know, bring the competition, like bring the fight to him, pretty much. Because Flash was not that far from Fausto's. Flash with the 991 GT3 RS last week at Tsukuba wasn't far off from Fausto's Mazda 3. And even in the previous rounds, even Tex himself, you know, Tex was driving a C7 Corvette before this, and he's held on. Yeah, he's held on to the championship lead since Watkins Glen, pretty much. While continuing to drive the C7, and now that he switched to the GTR Nismo, who knows what he's gonna do for the remaining 2 rounds in Europe.
Sardinia is gonna be that's gonna be a tough one, I think, especially in the Unlimited class.
It will be, because the Sardinia layout, the layout we chose is B, which is the one that goes through the windmills.
And it doesn't have a lot of straight line area.
Bar from the main straight itself? No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really tough. You're gonna want a handling car there.
Yeah. And considering how hard the braking zones are through Sardinia, you might be right where it's going to be a struggle for the Unlimited class cars.
I feel the other cars are going to be, the other classes will be much tighter there.
Especially Clubman. I feel like Clubman's going to be real tight through there.
Mm-hmm. But like, I feel that the Unlimited is going to be, it's going to be all about handling there.
Limited is definitely going to be handling track. Maybe the 4-wheel drives can, you know, the 2 hairpins, maybe the 4-wheel drives can get a good drive out of those onto the back straight. Maybe. I get the feeling that the 4-wheel drives could very well prove really good through there, but at the same time, no, the weight might be an issue. having too much power might be an issue even for the 4-wheel drives.
Like, I think that's the one track where power might hurt you that much.
Given that you only have like a stretch of, it's only a kilometer of road, probably not even. Oh, like, yeah, it might be over a kilometer of road where you can use all that power, the main straight. But even then, that one goes by quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting to see how everyone finds a balance to these cars. But yeah, that's gonna be it from us here at Suzuka Circuit for round 4 of the Vertex Super Lap series. Thank you very much to Harry Ma for joining me here in the booth. Hopefully we can be back here sometime soon, and maybe we can even get we can even get Styx TC on board for one of these final 2 rounds. That'll be really fun. So yeah, that's gonna be it here from us from Suzuka. We'll see you again. We are now in the final 4 weeks. Since last week at Suzuka, we started the final 4-week run of this series, so it's gonna be every week from here on out until Nürburgring. Next week we'll be at Sardinia for round 5. That's gonna be interesting, and we'll see you again next. We'll see you there again next week. But for now, it's goodbye from us. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next week.